Hello, it's me again. Yes, I realise I've got a microwave cooker behind me and I'm not really sure what I'm doing with that. My sister bought it for me, but I'll discuss sort of things around that later perhaps. I just wanted to say, I wanted to tell you I wanted to share some information about some of the stuff that happened when I went to Queen Margaret School. One time we were sort of lucky enough to be studying Greek, and a group of us went to Greece. The teachers took us in a VW van, we had like vegetarian meals every night, and camped in Greece. We went sort of via really dangerous roads in Yugoslavia, and went through Germany, and yes, we camped in Greece for quite a while. I think about a month or 6 weeks or something. The VW van did need repairs. We were lucky enough to kind of manage to come across some garages in Greece that did know what they were doing and did manage to repair it for us. So that was great. I may tell you more about that later, but two of the girls that I went to Greece with ended up going to Oxford University. I can't remember whether both of them went to study classics, but I want to tell you, well, one of them was called Sarah Preston, and she lived in a great big mansion just outside York, actually. A really big, impressive, like stately home type place. And we went to visit her once there, I think in preparation for the trip to Greece. And, they showed us round a bit, and there was a great big dilapidated ballroom, and the whole family congregated in the kitchen, and like most of their lives and like most of the time they spent in the house was keeping warm in the kitchen, because I don't know whether anybody kind of knows about living in these great big houses, but like the kind of repairs that they sometimes need, and the heating for them all and everything, so actually, yeah, they did just more or less live in the kitchen, and it was really quite cozy and quite lovely, actually. And but this I must tell you, if you're living in a cold country as well, or if it gets cold this winter here, when I was in Scotland, we used to I don't know whether you need central heating to heat the whole house. You may decide that you do. It depends how many of the people there are in your house for a start, or what bedrooms you're using or whatever. When we're in Aberdeen, we had an electric cooker then. I don't know how it would work with a gas cooker, but we had an electric cooker, and I think there were only 2 rings on it, actually. There weren't 4 rings on it. I think there were 2 rings on it. And we just kept the rings on in the kitchen, and all hung around in the kitchen. So I just thought I'd let you know that you don't necessarily need to buy like all these different types of fires or whatever. Like you can sometimes, like if you're pressed or whatever, just use the cooker and hang about in the kitchen. So I just thought I'd let you know that. Yeah, so anyway, Sarah Preston went to study in Oxford. I don't know whether both Sarah and Ruth Fuller Sessions went to St Hilda's College, but like I think well, I know Ruth Fuller Sessions did, but I don't know about Sarah Preston. I don't know whether she was at the same college, but like I knew the classics teacher, like we kept in touch afterwards, and he said he'd had a letter from someone at Oxford saying that all Sarah Preston did was go to the same desk every day in the library, and she more or less had to keep constancy with the same desk, which I can really understand actually, and that she worked. But like this letter that someone sent to him seemed to be complaining and sort of thinking it was odd behaviour that she was working all the time. Anyway, one of the reasons that there was another thing behind it, well, no, I mean, I think she left Oxford, possibly before she completed a degree, because a close friend of hers committed suicide, I think. And she went to work in a second-hand bookshop. And then, this classics teacher was saying, oh, fancy, after all that, working in a second-hand bookshop. But actually, I can understand that as well. I really can. I mean, I'm sorry about a friend. Right, and then Ruth Fuller Sessions, she came back to Queen Margaret's afterwards, apparently, and started saying that, like, after her experience at Oxford, she had to comment that we'd all been completely spoon-fed. And that the teaching had been spoon-feeding, she said. Then the headmaster, as a response to that, installed the whole school with satellite television. And then I think the caretaker and, a few other people started watching satellite television, and I can tell you that I don't think they were watching that many informative programmes about other countries. I think, I got the impression that they were watching porn late at night, actually, or something. Don't know what's going on, but I just thought I'd let you know that. Okay, bye for now. Bye.